on YouTube. So we out here riding in Cincinnati. We in Cincinnati with it today, man. But I wanted to talk about Errol, Spence, and Terence Crawford possible rematch, man. I really want to see the rematch. If y'all new to my channel, then just know I'm a big Errol Spence fan. But I was telling you, I was saying in my last couple videos, if you're just now tuning back in, or if this your first time on my channel, I just started a business driving cross country, and I was gonna start showing y'all some of these cities that I go to, give y'all some visuals as I'm giving my breakdowns and my thoughts on the latest news in boxing. Right now I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, so that's what y'all looking at right now, Cincinnati, Ohio. But and then yesterday I was in Philly when I did my video on Lomachenko versus Tank, and then the day before that I was in Brooklyn, New York, where I did my video on Shakur versus Tank. So but yeah, today, man, I wanted to talk about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, man, because I really still want to see that fight, because I feel like at 154, if they do make that fight at 154, first off, let me say this. Errol Spence got to come back, and he got to be damn near exactly what he was. I mean, like, almost his best self. Like, I would say the fight where he fought, at least the Sean Porter fight, even though we know that he went through a fat camp in that fight, I would say he got to have at least be as good as the Sean Porter fight, but have the extra weight for so he won't be as dehydrated as he was in the Sean Porter fight. But I say all that to say, man, I really feel like the weight in that fight against Terence Crawford played a huge factor. That's the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium right there that y'all looking at right there. But anyways, I feel like the weight played a major factor, man. Now, one thing that I will say about people like Terence Crawford and Tank Davis, they know how to fight at their true weight. Whatever weight that they perform the best at, I mean, that their body is acclimated to, that's the weight that they fight at. So we know Terence Crawford going to 147, that was his third weight class. And he's smaller than Errol. But he moved out, and he's fighting at 54 before Errol Spence gonna have a fight at 154. So that goes to show you that Terence Crawford is listening to his body. He's making sure that he's able to perform at the weight class that he's in at an optimal level. Now, that's important because when you're fighting another A-level fighter and they're not at their true weight class where they can perform their best, when you fighting them, you gonna watch them, and we gonna get what we saw last time they fought, where you had two high-level guys going in there. One of them is fighting to where they got access to all their muscles, all their speed, everything, and they not dehydrated. And then you got another fighter that is normally walking around at 180 pounds, 180 plus. When he rehydrate, even if he rehydrate from 147 to, like, let's just say 165, 170, you still 10 pounds under what you walk around at, your walk around weight. So you still gonna come in and you're gonna be a little bit dehydrated. So you're not gonna be 100%. So I say all that to say, man, I'm real interested in this fight. If Errol Spence can come back, and the wear and tear of all the wars that he been in, and the wrecks and stuff like that is not a factor after he fight Fundora, because he's gonna have to beat Fundora, and that's another tough fight. Fundora is not gonna be an easy fight for Errol Spence. But I feel like if he can beat Fundora and, you know, still show some signs where he got a couple more years left in the game to perform at a high level, then I really want to see that fight against Errol Spence at 154. And to be honest with you, that's hoping I'm going to have to see how he even perform at 154 against Fundora, Because that's even saying if 154 is the right weight class for Errol Spence. Errol Spence might be better fighting at 160 right now. Because he sucked down and make 147 since 2012. He turned pro in 2012. And, you know, it's 2024. So that's 12 years he's been making that same weight. And I feel like it just completely destroyed his body. So I say all that to say, man, 154 it still might not even be the right weight class for Errol Spence. But I do, with everything that I'm saying, I do feel like you'll get a better fight the more weight Errol Spence can put on against anybody, especially against Terence Crawford, because against that fight at 147, he didn't even have a chance. I do feel like at 154, as long as his body can hold up to everything that it's been through and he can still perform, I feel like we'll get a better fight. Who knows that if he'll win the fight? Who knows if he would have even won the first fight if he was at the same weight class? I mean, at a good weight where he could perform at. You know what I mean? Because honestly, just like I say all that, I'm not trying to use the weight as an excuse, because I know that he outgrew the weight class when he was beating some of them other fighters that he was fighting. So I can't really sit here and say that, you know, and that's probably why he thought he was going to go in there and do the same thing to Terence Crawford, because he was beating them guys and he was, you know, killing himself to make weight already, and he was fighting the wrong weight class. So, but that's the thing, them other guys is like B-level fighters. They were elite names, but they were like B-level fighters. You got guys like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, all that kind of stuff. I do feel like he beat Kell Brook when Kell Brook was like an A-level fighter at the time, but at that time it was early in his career and he haven't outgrew the weight yet. So he was able to perform against Kell Brook, another A-level fighter, and at the time, and then, you know, you see with the performance that he got. But anyways, man, that's just my thoughts on the whole situation. Let me know what you think. Like I said, man, I'm here in Cincinnati. I'm gonna be showing y'all some of these cities that I'm going through. Like I said, I was just in Philadelphia yesterday, actually. I did a video on Tank Davis versus Lomachenko and why I think that's still a good fight. Go check that video out. And then the video before that, I did a video on Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis, giving my thoughts on that fight. So go check that one out. And I was in Brooklyn for the Shakur versus Tank fight. So if you've never been to New York, go check that out, man. But I'm here right now in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm signing out, man. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.